Hey guys, Liquid here, and welcome to the next episode of Let's Answer Some Questions. As always, post questions below and I will answer them next week. Let's get started. Master Mewtwo Alpha asks, which subject do you like better, science or history? For the longest time, I was a science boy, but in recent years, I've become more interested in history, so at the moment um, not really, I guess, any real reason. I still do quite like science, but history just, I guess, tickles my fancy a bit more. Punk Rocket 69 asks, what band do you like better, the Misfits or the Ramones? I haven't really heard too much of the Misfits, so I'll probably go with the Ramones, 'cause they are pretty nice. Captain Falcon 099 asks, which one is better, Chugga Conroy or Nintendo Capri Sun? I've never really watched any of Chugga Conroy's Let's Plays, so I don't really know. Though if I'm honest, I watched a bit of his, like, I think it was his Okami, and I don't know, he was he sort of comes across as sort of like a kind of a know-it-all-y type of dude. Um, and Nintendo Capri Sun, like, it is generally just about, good time fun or whatever. So most likely I would side with Nintendo Capri Sun. Spider-Man Zane asks, have you heard of the show Ed, Edd n Eddy? Um, I'm surprised you even have to ask. Indeed, I've heard of it. I would watch it a lot as a youngster. Um, give it much thumbs up. I think it's an amazing show. 767 Scarecrow asks, would you talk to someone from YouTube on Skype? Possibly, I guess. Like, most of the people that I talk to on Skype are generally people that I know because of YouTube, so I guess yes. Some guy 452 asks, have you heard of Smosh? Yes. I'm not really I'm not like an avid follower of him, of them, should I say? Um, but what I've seen of them, they're all right, I guess. Moonfane14 asks, if I post a question below, will you answer it? Will you answer them next week? No. I don't know where you got that idea. But if you post a question below, I will most certainly not answer it next week. Wink. Stone's Princess asks, what do you do for fun besides gaming, of course? Even my non-gaming hobbies are still most likely quite nerdy or whatever. Such as, I guess, occasionally reading comics, watching television, going to the movies, and hanging out with friends and whatnot. And that's really the gist of my 4 fun things to do. Rigitsu asks, if you had to live in a fictional universe, video game or otherwise, which would you choose and why? I would choose to live in nothing's really coming to mind, but I'm thinking, Because like all like fictional universes or whatever that I'm thinking of are pretty dreary and bad. Um, hmm. I'm not getting anything at all. Right? So after some thinking or whatever, somewhat of a cop out. Um, but living in actually, hmm. I would actually think I would decide between Middle Earth and the Harry Potter universe, because they could provide escapism and not necessarily provide danger, if that makes sense. So they might be pretty fun for a bit. Danger Zone 125 asks, have you ever found yourself not knowing what to talk about during a recording, and has being on YouTube improved any social or non-social qualities of yours? Um, Definitely like early on, I guess. You would have moments where I just didn't really know what to say or whatever, and I guess that kind of causes you to kind of try to think of something to say more aggressively, I guess. And so I think I might have like early on I might have kind of found myself trying a bit too hard to like say something um to like have like a nice kind of flow of commentary. Um but recently no I think if you're asking this like in regards to like helping out for yourself, I guess my advice would be just I guess kind of talk as if you were just having a chat with your viewers, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, just go with the flow, I guess, and comment on what's going on in the game and whatnot. And I wouldn't say that like it's improved any skills of mine outside of Let's Playing. Really, like the only thing that I think that Let's Playing has improved is Let's Playing, I guess. Like I'm a bit like more comfortable um in speaking to the internet and whatnot. So yeah. Um, but other than that, not really. Classic Gamer 102 asks, do you ever intend to LP the rest of the Metal Gear Solid games? If so, when? I do, but at no um at no date that has been defined or whatever. Gosherhead 193 asks, did you see the second Amazing Spider-Man trailer? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I did, and I quite liked it. I talked about this a bit, and I think it's part 10 of my Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Um, like I hate to be the dude that's all like, the suit's not that great. Um, but I don't know, the suit just looks a bit odd to me. But that like I said in the video, that's really just a nitpick, I think, and I'm sure the movie itself will be pretty good. Walksabram asks, what was the first game you ever played? Were you able to get to the end of that game, and what made you choose that game as your first? The first game I ever played, I think I was 3 years old, and I was at someone's house, and they had a Genesis with Sonic the Hedgehog, and they like, I guess, gave me the controller for a bit, and I was playing it for a bit. The actual first game that I chose myself to play or whatever, I don't remember at all. But the first video game experience I had, I believe, was Sonic the Hedgehog. Though I do remember, I believe we had an NES, because in my early childhood I would go back and forth between my grandma's house, and she had an NES, and with Super Mario Bros, Duck Hunt, um, I think McKids as well, the McDonald's game. Um, I guess like those were some like my first, I guess, as well, gaming experiences, and they were pretty good. But like I said, like actual game that I first, because I was introduced to video games at a time when I wouldn't really be someone who would choose to play something and play through it and whatnot. I was very, very young and whatnot. So hopefully that answers the question. But first video game that I actually owned or whatever would probably be when I got my PlayStation. I got Spyro 3, Crash Team Racing, Spider-Man for the PS1, of course, and Army Men, Sarge's Heroes 2, and like so I guess those would be like the first games that I played through or whatever that I willingly chose to and owned and whatnot. So hopefully that answers that question. That's all the questions for this week. Contrasting to what I said before, post questions below and I will answer them next week, actually. So do that and see you guys next time. Liquid out.